We are
almost also a podcast.
we're cool.
We promise.
I look a little different. This episode looks a little different.
Sophie's away on holidays.
It's my birthday. Current stuff. There is a new movie in the making for Netflix. The interesting thing about this movie is it's made by Harry and Meghan. Yeah, as in the people from the royal family. But they're making a film about the Afghan war, which is interesting to say the least, because what do they have to talk about? Like, Harry and Meghan are the last people I would expect to make commentary about the Afghan war. Like, it's so out of the blue and so, like, unusual for ex-royals to be making a film slash documentary about the Afghan war. Like, I feel like this is such a, not weird, but, like, an interesting choice. And they're making it for Netflix. Like, who asked? Like, no offense, but, like, who asked for this documentary? I don't think anyone did. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like it's kind of a rogue choice. Plus, isn't it a little problematic if they, of all people, are the ones who are doing it? Usually people like that want to stay out of the conflict, but here they are in the conflict. Interesting.
We have new James Bond auditions with possible casting being Jacob Elordi, Callum Turner, Harris Dickinson, Henry Cavill, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, or Theo James. Now, we know a few of these names already, such as Henry Cavill, who played The Witcher, who played Superman. You know, he's been, like, really, like, acclaimed, like, well rated, well known. He's really well known in the film industry. He's an amazing actor. He's always got that kind of strong persona about him. And like Callum Turner, we have seen him in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. He was also in Masters of the Air, which was an amazing series. So we have quite a few actors here who are well known already. They're all quite talented. However, do we need a new James Bond? The new James Bond movie is highly anticipated. As we know, James Bond movies are quite literally always good. There is a whole entire thing about this character of James Bond being iconic. He's been quite an influence throughout the years. You know, it spanned over quite a long time. However, there's been so many movies, and as we've said in the last episode about, for example, Toy Story and Scary Movie, their movies coming out, do we need another one? There have been so many James Bond movies, and I'm not doubting that this one will be amazing. However, there's been so many, so do we need more actors? Should we select high, like, well-known actors, or should we select lesser-known actors to give them a chance to progress within the film industry and get more roles that are bigger and higher paying, and to be able to finally get famous like they want to? I mean, James Bond is quite a big franchise, you know. I don't think I know anyone who hasn't heard of James Bond.
Number 2. A thief stole Beyonce's unreleased music from a car. I think he was put into prison. I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's at least on some sort of trial. How do you even steal from Beyonce? Like, the amount of money that she has, she must have got a lot of money from Diddy, right? So her security has to be insane. So why on earth is she getting music stolen from her? Is Beyonce's music even that good to be stealing? I'm gonna be that person. Beyonce is not all that. OMG. How much time in prison would you get for that, though? Like, that's such a niche crime. That's like if Tommy Fury went to prison for, like, leaking the news about that baby. I don't know whose baby it was. I need Amber, bro. I need her. Amber, if I was a lawyer and my case for the day was sentence this guy to prison for stealing music from Beyonce, I'd give him a tenner, honestly.
On top of this, London has been named the best city in the world for culture by global online magazine Time Out. Now, this is kind of surprising to me considering the rise in reform voters. As we all know, there seems to be a lack of tolerance that comes with them, especially through immigration. There's been quite a rise in racism and, like, nationalism in a way. We've been more focused on the country and who we believe was naturally here and all that lot, and I don't want to really get too much into it because this is something we should be celebrating. The capital was recognised for its large, high-quality, accessible cultural scene, which includes theatre, art galleries, museums, literary festivals, live music and comedy. The ranking results were from surveying 24,000 city residents worldwide and gathering insights from a panel of Time Out experts and editors. Culture is our DNA in London. It's worth £64 billion in the London economy, and it's the reason most of our tourists come here. It's quite a diverse, free space where there's not fear of expressing yourself, other than quite recently. However, it's only been quite recently that it has changed. So we've seen, like, there's always a festival or something going on to celebrate different cultures, different like holidays, celebrations, like the lot. And it's honestly very heartwarming to see that tolerance in London specifically is still there, and it's been ranked the best city worldwide culturally. It's just amazing to know that, like, a place where I'm from is capable of that. And you know I think we should be very proud of that.
My week out of 10, it has been an interesting week. I got my hair dyed, I've had a road trip for about 3 hours, I'm on holiday, I got a cushion. Don't you like the split dye? I'm now cooler than everyone I know. So my week out of 10, I want to say an 8 out of 10. It's been good, but it's been very stressful because there's been so much going on.
Now it's for my week out of 10. Now, Sophie's not here, so that will bump it down a bit. My week out of 10 so far has been like a 5 out of 10. Recently, to be honest, there's not really been much going on, so that's why it's down to like a 5.
Highlight of the week, probably get my hair dyed. It was my first time having bleach. We look, black hair, blonde hair, black hair, blonde hair. That's so cool.
The highlight of the week this week is being able to record this, because with Sophie away on holiday, it kind of seemed almost impossible for me to record without like a microphone. Getting them to work themselves was quite a huge task. I mean, who would have thought it would be this tricky? I had to like go through a bunch of pain, record the audio separately on a different device so that it would do this and then it matches up with the video. It's been a massive hassle, but the highlight of the week is the fact that I'm actually managing to do it. We've seen an increase in leadership challenges. Where Streeting, he's literally officially stepped down. He's like ready to go straight for that leadership challenge. I mean, it kind of feels annoying in a way, because in an unstable political climate, we are once again making it less stable by trying to challenge for leadership, trying to get a new prime minister and leader of the Labour Party. Keir Starmer has met MPs and ministers in Parliament after allies of Health Secretary Wes Streeting said he could launch a leadership challenge on Thursday. Now that's quite recent, to be honest with you, and it's kind of annoying, isn't it? We cannot let a leadership contest plunge us into chaos, is what Keir Starmer said, and I agree with him. A change in leadership would just destabilise the party. I mean, it's already quite unstable right now. I mean, we don't need another leadership challenge on top of that, and a change of prime minister and a change of party leader. It just seems like a bit too much for right now, whilst we're trying to deal with everything else. Streeting would need the backing of at least 81 MPs to challenge Starmer, and I'm pretty sure he has at least that many MPs backing him, which is once again quite annoying and honestly a little bit scary, because it's another guy who's in charge and we don't know if this guy would do good, and he's definitely not going to beat someone like Andy Burnham if Andy Burnham actually ends up with support and becomes an MP and goes through with it. On top of this, Angela Rayner is considering being part of this leadership challenge and wanting to become Prime Minister. For the best part of the year, political ambitions have been stifled by the investigation into her tax affairs. However, that has been resolved with HMRC, and like she has like a connection with the working class in a way, because she was part of the working class. She didn't, like go to private school like most prime ministers. She didn't go to have all of these privileges that most MPs and prime ministers had, and it is a like quite a high chance that she would join this leadership battle and get a few votes, to be honest with you. But once again, do we really need another leader? I mean, the Labour Party itself is what's failing, and whilst Keir Starmer seems to have like a leadership problem and not much of a strong hold on his own MPs, a leadership change doesn't really seem like it would change it that much, because the MPs themselves have had a taste of that power to do what they wanted, to go against the Prime Minister, the leader of the party. I mean, at this point, I think we should just hold another general election, let the country decide who's running the country, instead of constant leadership changes that we ourselves aren't deciding who it is. And it seems a bit ridiculous that we don't decide who it is, because it's just not democratic, is it? Yeah, there's definitely been a huge destabilization within politics, and we could end up with a new leader of the Labour Party soon, and a new Prime Minister altogether.
Keir Starmer is on the ropes. So many people are saying how he is pretty much out, and not not to be replaced by reform. As well as Wes Streeting and Angela Rayner, there is Andy Burnham, who is currently the mayor of Manchester, and a guy called Chris Mason. No idea who he is. Andy Burnham is great. Everyone I've talked to about Andy Burnham actually loves him, and I feel like I like him as well. He's really good, I think. He's been mayor of Manchester for about, I can't tell you. He's done a good job from what I've heard from people in Manchester and people on the internet and people around me. They all seem to have quite high, not expectations, but high opinions of Andy Burnham, and I feel like that's a really good thing to have, is to have all that support. And he's closest one to opposing Keir Starmer. He's running for a constituency which I can't remember the name of. I think it's like Marksfield, but he's been allowed to go ahead to be an MP, meaning that now, because he's not mayor, because he was mayor, and you can't challenge the Prime Minister if you're a mayor for some reason. I think it's because you have to be a member of Parliament to be the Prime Minister. That'd make a lot of sense because there's a separation of powers and in the joining of powers, but it's not called that. Editing Sophia, hopefully you know. I think Andy Burnham he's the closest one to getting to Prime Minister, but I think he's also, if I could choose someone from the Labour Party to be the next Prime Minister, I would choose Andy Burnham. It's getting to that point where I've been at home alone for so long, I'm starting to think everything's here to kill me. Have you seen my mum? I think Amber will agree with me that Keir Starmer is on the way out. It's annoying because I quite like Keir Starmer as a person. I think he's got good charisma, and I do think that his policies are good. I just wish that he stuck with his opinion more. So, because what he does is, if he has a bad policy, he will apologize for it and he'll say, sorry guys, this is a bad policy, I'll do my best to adjust it. But that's the thing I don't like about him. He doesn't really have a backbone. I think if people said, this is a bad policy, change it, and he said, no, this is my policy, you voted for me, this is what's going to happen, I would respect that a lot more. Even if it's not what I wanted, like, even if it's something that was not in his manifesto, even if he was going against his stuff and doing loads of U-turns, as long as he stood up for himself, I wouldn't mind it. It's just the fact that he does the U-turns and then it's like, yeah, sorry guys, this isn't my fault. And it's like, well, where do you stand, Keir? Like, where do you stand? I think he just needs to have his own opinion and stand up for himself, because he's just a big softie. He's a big pushover. I don't want him to go. I quite like him, but we need a stronger leadership in a time of crisis.
The King himself delivered a speech recently in Parliament, and he announced a few bills that he wants the government to bring about, such as the Steel Industry Bill, a European Partnership Bill, which contains controversial new powers to fast-track legislation to deliver a series of new arrangements planned with the EU. As it is well known, Keir Starmer himself wants to rejoin the EU, and it seems like quite a big positive for the UK at this time to rejoin the EU. It's just whether or not they would let us without a few conditions, considering we literally left them with Brexit. On top of that, a regulating for growth bill, a competition reform bill, the enhancing financial services bill. It's nice to see that he has thought about it and the government's thinking about it. And there's been quite a few good ones in there. There's a couple of ones that are a little bit iffy in a way. However, I'm glad that he's taken the initiative to go through with these. And it's kind of good news to know that these common issues that we have found are finally getting tackled.
TikTok pages. We were talking about social media last week in our politics section, and there was a little TikTok that came up.
7.
The Conservatives are getting on social media and are posting a lot of funny stuff. they did a TikTok making fun of Keir Starmer. They've done other stuff, and it's made me laugh so much, and I cannot remember for the life of me. But it was so funny. I'll play a few now.
Hello. To us, he's just Peter.
Also on TikTok is the Lib Dems. I saw something about them.
There shall be no knifing one another. Everybody knows who's in charge.
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir?
I think it's so funny to use social media, but I think we've already talked about this, but it's funny, but it's dangerous. I think if you do see something on TikTok and you think, yeah, this is quite nice, I like this, or I think I'm gonna vote for these people, this is funny, at least make sure you do your research. I urge you to do your own research. Please, please, please. I think the next general election will be about a year. I reckon Keir Starmer will be replaced with someone else, and that person will run a minority government, I think, is how that works. I need to revise democracy and participation. But Wes Streeting resigned as well. Oh my gosh. I saw a TikTok where everyone in Parliament was on their phones and they were waiting. Well, they were looking at the headline that said that Wes Streeting had resigned, and everyone was like smiling, and it was like, I think it's insane that he resigned. He's lost confidence in Keir Starmer, and I think he's got balls, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any opinions on Wes Streeting. He's very, I don't know. He just doesn't do much. I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, so I don't really have an opinion on him, so I can't really comment.
I will be talking about the Bangles, which were arguably the best all-female pop rock band to ever exist. I mean, they had so many hit songs like Walk Like an Egyptian, Manic Monday, Eternal Flame, In Your Room, Hazy Shade of Winter, which was a cover. They were formed in 1981 in Los Angeles. I thought they were British. They had name changes, so it went like the Colours and the Bangs, but they got sued or they had to change it from the Bangs, so they changed it to the Bangles. Despite massive commercial success within the ATEEZ, internal tensions kind of built up because Susanna Hoffs had quite a media dominance in a way. She was very famous. She was in a few movies. She was in an Austin Powers movie, which led to the disbanding of the Bangles in 1989. However, they were reunited in 1999, recording the album Doll Revolution in 2003, and have continued to play together. And then we have Black Veil Brides. It was formed in 2006 in Cincinnati, Ohio. They are quite a popular American rock band known for like their songs having more of a theatrical element to them. They were definitely inspired by like 1980s glam metal. The current lineup of the band consists of the lead vocalist Andy Biersack, the rhythm guitarist and violinist Jinx, the lead guitarist Jake Pitts, the bassist Lonnie Eagleton, and the drummer Christian CC Comer. They achieved early widespread fame mainly on YouTube with their self-produced music video for Knives and Pens, which literally got like tens of millions of views. And I know quite a few bands didn't like that because like YouTube, it's like a free service and they're getting famous through this, where they're like having like their albums put out and they're having like music videos put out through like the normal way. But Black Veil Brides, they blew up through YouTube, and they also had quite a large retail success. Their merch got really famous in Hot Topic, which led to like more fame, and also Lava Records noticing them and getting them signed. They've gotten so much hate, and lots of people say that they're not like a true like rock band or metal, they're not good and all that lot. But if you listen to them, you can hear that they're using their like influences from Kiss, Motley Crue. I don't see why or how they could be hated, because they aren't necessarily bad. They're quite good actually, and even if that's up to opinion, why hate on someone outwardly? Like, just leave them alone. Don't listen to them. You're like doing more by being bothered to like listen through it all and then start hating on it. I mean, it seems to have no point at all. Like, why?
안녕하세요. 사랑해. There has been many hacking attempts recently. This week there was one on Jungkook. Well, a hacking attempt. It didn't happen, but there was an attempt. And there has been in the past people hacking groups like Twice and Cortis. So Twice happened in about like 2018, 2019, something like that. And basically what happened is someone hacked into their Spotify and uploaded a song. I can't remember the name of it, but it had like a creepy message in it. And then the same thing happened with Danielle from New Jeans, who I talked about last time.
Yankee, Oscar, Uniform, Whiskey, Oscar, November, Tango, Foxtrot.
Wait, was Danielle? It was either Danielle or 17. Am I messing it? I think I'm messing it all up. I think it was Twice, 17, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. But people think that they are interlinked. People think that they are all connected because they're pretty much the same. It's a song with the photo of the song, like the gallery thing. I don't know. Where it is like a picture of like their training or their company. The song is usually like someone's voice who is like auto-tuned over, and it's like,
"We have your son. Pay 5 million or you never see him again."
Kind of voice. And it's saying messages like, "We were hurt, we need help," stuff like that. I think it's really interesting, but it's also really scary to look into. I hope the idols are okay, 100%. Number 2 on K-pop things, a group called ATEEZ is no stranger to plagiarism. So many people are plagiarizing their work, their choreo, their music videos, their songs. There is literally an artist, I think they're a K-pop artist, they're a solo artist, I think they're Thai, literally copied a solo song from one of the members of, literally just copied their song. Insane that people think they can get away with stuff like this. Baby Monster, I recently understand them, they literally plagiarized ATEEZ.
ATEEZ fans accused Baby Monster of plagiarizing scenes from ATEEZ's bouncy music video. Certain scenes in We Go Up appeared too similar to ATEEZ's bouncy music video, such as Chiquita's fighting scene being almost identical to San's fight sequence in Bouncy, and Rora's scene resembling Hongjoong's gunment. Some fans even claimed the camera angles and overall scene direction appeared copied angle by angle.
And it's so annoying because ATEEZ are from an entertainment called KQ Entertainment, and they're such a niche entertainment. They only have 2 bands and a solo artist, and that's it. To plagiarize such good work is insane. Like, why would you do that? It's like stealing from like a family restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you steal from like Asda, it's fine, but if you steal from like a small town business, what are you doing? There is a boy group who literally just copied ATEEZ's whole concept, and like their advertisement for it, all the posters and stuff. It's like, hello, like, it's so obvious, and it's like people think they're not going to get away with it. There is a choreographer who steals ATEEZ choreography and they give it to other groups and they're like, hey, here's this new and improved choreography that you've never seen before, and it's literally just ATEEZ's dance. Come on! Unpopular opinion, Katy Perry, Pink, and Dua Lipa are pretty much the same people. I think this isn't even an unpopular opinion. It's like, it's so obvious. Like, Dua Lipa has an album called Future Nostalgia, and it's literally just old songs over and over again. Boring. Katy Perry does the same thing. Katy Perry her peak was like 2016, 2017, and I feel like after that, she just became a meme. Like, who actually cares about her music anymore? I think Dark Horse was like my jam in like 2018. And then Pink, I remember. Oh, what song is it? What About Us? Like, the thing is, with Katy Perry, Pink, and Dua Lipa, I genuinely get those three messed up all the time. Like, name any one of their songs, and it could be by any of the other two. Like, Levitating could be by Pink, and I wouldn't know. What About Us could be by Katy Perry. Raw could be by Dua Lipa. And like Fireworks by Katy Perry is such a Dua Lipa song. Like they all just make the same music and it's so boring. It's like this formula is just, and then like they're all still making music and it's like, come off it. Like give it a rest. I think it's time to quit, girls. I'm sorry.
Older music is better than new music. So for me, I would define older music as like 60s to the like 2010s, like early 2010s, and then new music is past that. Because there's been like a significant change in like rock and metal music that I'm used to listening to within recent years compared to like early 2010s. Like with 2010, you had the Nightmare album by Avenged Sevenfold, which was really good, and you had like Black Veil Brides. But when it hits like late 2010s to now, it kind of just wobbles a bit. Like they've started to change their style to fit like advancements in the technology used to make music and everything, and it kind of just takes away from that authentic feeling of the music itself, but also from like the sound that makes that music, that type of music that has been like used for ages. It kind of just shifts away from it, and it's not necessarily creating a new genre, but it's not properly sticking to the genre that it's classed under, that has been like the original way. So like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC sound a lot different to like the new Black Veil Brides album. Like Black Sabbath, Metallica, Iron Maiden, they all sound different. Whilst change is good, it's kind of moving away from the roots a bit and making something new, which is a great thing. However, older music still has that sentiment, that nostalgia that new music kind of hasn't had a chance to create yet. So I would argue that old music is a lot better than new music.
Weekly reviews. My phone is like 1%. There's no Wi-Fi here. OMG. Okay, my top 5 tracks of the week. Number 1 is Love in Paradise by Jorge Rivera Herons. Number 2 is Open Arms by Jorge Rivera Herons. Number 3 is God Games by Jorge Rivera Herons. Number 4 is The Horse and the Infant by Jorge Rivera Herons. Number 5 is I Love My Girl, She's My Boy by Between Friends. Album of the week is the Wisdom Saga. Makes a lot of sense, to be fair. My top 5 artists this week is Jorge Rivera Herons, then James Marriott, then Mitski, then Lynn Lapid, then TV Girl. It's raining. Can you hear the rain? You can't hear the rain because these mics are too good.
At number 1, we have Things Can Only Get Better. At number 2, we have Rebel Love Song. Number 3, Dear God. Number 4, Sabracadabra. Number 5, Sweet Sacrifice. Then, for my top artists, number 1 is Black Veil Brides, number 2 is Avenged Sevenfold, number 3 is Black Sabbath, number 4 is AC/DC, and number 5 is My Chemical Romance.
That's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Me and Amber will be reunited next week. Bye!